Summer 1985, Los Angeles, California. The city of dreams became the city of nightmares. For 5 months, no one was safe. Not in their homes, not in their beds, not behind locked doors. Because he didn't just break in, he studied you first. This is the story of Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, the serial killer who terrorized an entire city and changed home security forever. By the time police caught him, he'd killed at least 14 people, but the real number might be over 40. And the worst part? He chose his victims completely at random. You could be next. Let's begin. June 28, 1984. Glassell Park, Los Angeles. 79-year-old Ginny Vinkow lived alone in a small apartment. She always kept her window open during summer because she didn't have air conditioning. That night, someone climbed through that window. The next morning, her son found her. She'd been stabbed repeatedly. Her apartment was ransacked. The killer had left almost no evidence. LAPD classified it as a burglary gone wrong. They had no idea it was the beginning. For 11 months, nothing happened. The case went cold. Detectives moved on. But he was still out there, watching, planning, choosing. March 17, 1985. Rosemead, California. 22-year-old Maria Hernandez pulled into her garage at midnight after work. As she stepped out of her car, a man appeared from the shadows. He raised a gun and fired point-blank at her face. The bullet hit her car keys. She fell to the ground pretending to be dead. The man stepped over her body and walked into her apartment. Inside, he found her roommate, 34-year-old Dale Okazaki. He shot her in the forehead. Then he left. Maria waited until she heard his footsteps fade. Then she ran to the neighbors screaming. 1 hour later, 10 miles away in Monterey Park, Tsai Lian Yu, a 30-year-old law student, was pulling into her own driveway. The same man appeared. He dragged her from her car and shot her twice. She died on the pavement. Within 90 minutes, he'd attacked 3 women in 2 different cities. LAPD realized they had a problem. But they had no idea how bad it was about to get. March 27, 1985, Whittier, California. 64-year-old Vincent Zazzara and his 44-year-old wife Maxine were asleep in their home. He broke in through an unlocked window, shot Vincent in the head while he slept. Then he went to Maxine. What he did to her was so brutal, the medical examiner had never seen anything like it. He carved symbols on her body, removed her eyes, left them on the dresser. This wasn't just murder anymore. This was something else. Something evil. May 14, 1985, Monterey Park. 66-year-old William Doy heard glass breaking at 2 a.m. He got up to investigate. The Night Stalker shot him in the face. Then he found William's wife Lillian hiding in the bedroom. He demanded money, jewelry, anything valuable. Then he assaulted her for hours. Before leaving, he told her something that made detectives' blood run cold. He said, "Tell them the Night Stalker was here." He'd given himself a name. The media went insane. Every newspaper in California ran the story. TV stations broadcast warnings every night. Gun stores sold out in hours. Locksmiths couldn't keep up with demand. Neighborhoods formed watch groups. People stopped sleeping with windows open during night. Children weren't allowed outside after dark. But it didn't matter. Because he didn't have a pattern. Young victims, old victims, rich neighborhoods, poor neighborhoods, apartments, houses, condos, gunshots, stabbings, blunt force. The only pattern was that there was no pattern. May 29, 1985, Burbank. Two elderly sisters, Mabel Bell, 83, and Florence Lang, 81, lived together. He broke in at night, beat them both with a hammer, used an electrical cord to strangle Mabel, drew pentagrams on the walls in their blood. Florence survived, but couldn't describe the attacker. Mabel died from her injuries weeks later. The city was in full panic. People were buying guard dogs faster than breeders could supply them. Hardware stores ran out of deadbolts and window bars. Some families moved out of California entirely. Police had hundreds of tips, thousands of hours of investigation, dozens of suspects, but nothing solid. Until July 20th, 1985. That night he attacked a couple in Glendale, 32-year-old Max Kneiding and his 66-year-old wife Leela. He shot them both in their sleep. But this time he left something behind. A footprint. Not just any footprint, an Avia aerobic sneaker, size 11.5, a rare model sold in limited quantities. Detectives started tracking every store that sold them, every purchase, every receipt. And they caught a break. August 24, 1985, Mission Viejo. He broke into the home of 29-year-old Bill Carnes and his fiancée, 27-year-old Inez Erickson. He shot Bill 3 times in the head. Then he assaulted Inez and forced her to swear her love to Satan. Before he left, he asked her, "Do you know who I am?" She said no. He smiled and said, "I'm the Night Stalker." Then he got into his car and drove away. But Inez did something brilliant. She memorized his license plate. Police traced it to a 1976 orange Toyota station wagon, stolen, but it had been seen in multiple neighborhoods during attacks. They staked out the area where it was last spotted. August 31, 1985, East Los Angeles. A patrol unit spotted the orange Toyota. The driver saw them and ran. He abandoned the car and disappeared into the neighborhood. Inside the vehicle, police found the Avia sneakers and a clear fingerprint on the rear-view mirror. They ran it through the database. Match: Richard Ramirez, 25 years old. Previous arrests for theft and drug possession. His mugshot went out to every news station in California that night. September 1, 1985. Richard Ramirez walked into a liquor store in East LA. His face was on the front page of every newspaper in the rack. Someone recognized him. He ran. Residents of the neighborhood chased him down the street. An elderly woman hit him with a metal pipe. A group of mechanics pulled him to the ground and held him until police arrived. When the cops showed up, the crowd was screaming, "It's the Night Stalker! Kill him!" Officers had to protect him from being beaten to death. He was arrested at 8:15 a.m. The Night Stalker's reign of terror was over. The trial began in 1988. Richard Ramirez showed no remorse. He smiled at victims' families, flashed satanic symbols to the cameras, laughed during graphic testimony. He was convicted of 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. The jury took just 4 hours to recommend the death penalty. At sentencing, Ramirez said, "You don't understand me. You are not expected to. I don't need to hear all of society's rationalizations. I've heard them all before." Then he added, "See you in Disneyland." He was sent to San Quentin State Prison to await execution. For 23 years he sat on death row,